Mr. President, I have the A50 amendment to the amendment.
Senator Clausen has the A50 amendment to the amendment. The Secretary will report the amendment.
Senator Clausen moves to amend the Latz amendment to Senate File number 802 as follows. Page 1 after line 1 insert. This is the A50 amendment.
To the A50 amendment to the amendment, Senator Clausen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, the A50 amendment relates to the School Safety Center and would provide $250,000 each year for the Minnesota School Safety Center. I think we all know that school safety continues to be a major concern for parents, children, school personnel, and we as legislators. We all want our schools and our children to be safe, and during the 2018 legislative session, grant funding assisted schools to implement physical building safety improvements. And currently, there have been many school safety legislative initiatives introduced, including mandated school safety assessment policies and funding to purchase safety equipment. To implement safety policies and to ensure legislative resources are being properly directed to increase school safety requires consultation with knowledgeable sources. The Minnesota School Safety Center meets this need, serving as a resource to schools and communities at no charge to school districts. A little bit of history on the School Safety Center. It was created in 2007 by the legislature with the help of federal funding by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety and Division of Homeland Security. Unfortunately, federal funding expired in 2011 and the center was closed. The center, however, reopened in 2013 with legislative appropriated funding. The center serves K-12 public, private, charter, and tribal schools as a resource to schools, law enforcement, public safety, emergency management, personnel, and community partners. The center provides information, guidance, training, and technical assistance for best practices in all phases of safety school planning. The center coordinates prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery activities with federal, tribal, state, and local partners. There are currently 3 staff members with an ongoing appropriated budget of $405,000. This group of people, 3 people, have an appropriated budget of $405,000, and yet they reach out to over 250 schools annually throughout the state. The A50 amendment restores a staff position that was reduced during budget constraints and adds 1 additional staff position with a $250,000 annual appropriation. And I'd like to say this is a small appropriation when compared to the safety outcomes that will be achieved. And I have personal experience working with the School Safety Center when I was a high school principal. When I moved to our district office, and one of the tasks that I had was to develop a school safety district program for over 28,000 students and over 30 buildings. The first group of people I met with was people from the School Safety Center. Some of the things that the School Safety Center provides for schools, they do multi-hazard emergency planning, they do threat assessment, they do active shooter, violent intruder response, lockdown procedures with various options, crisis communication, de-escalation strategies, building access and visitor control, bomb threat responses, safe school facility assessments, and tabletop exercises involving a number of people within the community. Senator Latz earlier had talked about a letter distributed by Senator Latz from John Harrington, the Department of Public Safety Commissioner, And if you'll turn to that letter and look at the bottom, the commissioner specifically identified the School Safety Center as a significant concern not found in the judiciary bill. And to quote that, there is a groundswell of interest from local school districts in receiving technical assistance from the School Safety Center. Failing to fund 2 additional FTEs means the center is unable to meet the demand or implement the program improvements that have been requested by stakeholders. So again, to help ensure the safety of our children in our schools throughout the state, I'm asking for your support for the School Safety Center. Thank you.
Discussion